So the first thing I'm gonna do is bread the mozzarella, and I just use string cheese. This is just regular string cheese. I unwrapped them and cut each piece into little bite-sized pieces. And I'm gonna bread it, and here's the assembly line of the breading. I'm gonna drop it into flour first, make sure it gets all over the piece, and then quickly dunk it into a mixture of egg and milk, and then quickly drop it into a mixture of panko breadcrumbs, Parmesan, and parsley, the 3 Ps. So look, this is what it looks like when it's all breaded. It's already looking very, very promising. Very, very easy. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the rest of this mozzarella. Okay, last one. Look at my fingers. That's the only thing about having a breading assembly line. It gets a little bit messy. All right, I'm gonna stick the pan into the freezer. Whenever I fry things that are breaded, I like to freeze them for just a few minutes, and it helps the breading really stick and stay and do what it's supposed to do. Okay, so while the breaded bites are in the freezer, I'm going to get the sauce going. And it's just a classic buffalo sauce that you would use for wings, except I'm using it for mozzarella. So I'm gonna add some butter to a little saucepan, 3/4 of a cup of Louisiana hot sauce, a splash of Worcestershire, and a splash of apple cider vinegar. I'll give it a mix and heat it until everything's melted. Super easy. So these are just perfect. They just froze for about 5 minutes. They turn brown super fast, and the Parmesan in the breading also will help them brown. But you want to stand here, you don't want to drop them in and then go do a load of laundry or anything. Look, they look perfect. Now I'm just gonna fry this second batch. Stick with me, it won't take long. Look at these, Paige. Don't you just want to eat one of those right now?
Yes.
Well, you can't. Okay, so look at the sauce. It's all done and it's bubbling away. So I'll turn it off, give it one more quick stir. Okay, now serving is really, really fun. So I have a platter and I've already got some celery and carrots and ranch dressing, which is a must, of course, with buffalo wings. So I'm gonna take some of this sauce and put it into a little dish. So instead of tossing the mozzarella bites in the sauce, which I fear would cause the mozzarella to continue melting and maybe be in danger of oozing, I'm gonna serve the buffalo sauce as a dipping sauce. And then, you guessed it, you just arrange the mozzarella bites all over. How cute is this? All right, is this a fun little party dish or what? And here's what you do. Allow me to demonstrate. Oh, geez, so good. Which one of you guys do I invite up here? Dig in. I'm whipping up some buffalo deviled eggs. I've just been hollowing out some hard-boiled eggs, some mayonnaise, a couple of tablespoons of ranch dressing, a couple of tablespoons of Louisiana hot sauce, and then some salt and pepper, a little bit of sugar, and I am gonna let the mixer whip this up into a fluffy, delicious mixture. Okay, this looks great. Some crumbled blue cheese, probably just adding a couple of tablespoons. Now I've got a stalk of celery, and I'm gonna dice it up pretty fine. Okay, I'm gonna put the celery in. And then I also had some celery leaves that I minced up earlier. So now I just have to fill the eggs. I'm gonna use a couple of spoons. That seems to be the easiest way. Okay, I've got some whole celery leaves, so I'll put a little piece on, along with another blue cheese crumble, just for good measure. So cute. So I've got ground chicken, which is sold in the supermarket. I'm just gonna add a bunch of things to it. So 1 egg, breadcrumbs. You can do seasoned, but these are plain. I added salt and pepper. And then I've got really little bits of celery, which of course is always served with buffalo chicken. Garlic, of course. And then the white parts of green onions, sliced really thin, Louisiana hot sauce. So look, this did not take long at all to kind of mix together. It's a little bit more tender than ground beef, so it all really stirs together easily. Okay, really good. So I'm gonna use my trusty scoop, and I'm gonna get about 28 to 30 meatballs out of it. I'll roll them up and put them on the sheet pan. So these are gonna bake at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes until they're totally done. All right, I'm gonna make a sauce. So that is nothing more than butter and more Louisiana hot sauce. So I've got the skillet on medium high, and I'm just gonna cook this until the butter is melted, the sauce is bubbling, and everything just looks orange and wonderful. Okay, so this would be a wonderful time to go grab the meatballs out of the oven. Now I'm just gonna scrape them off of the sheet pan and get them into the sauce. Make sure the sauce is still bubbling. All righty, now I'm gonna turn the heat off of the sauce and then look. Just stir them around and get them totally coated. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Delicious, they look amazing. So to serve these, I'm just gonna pile them in the middle of a platter. I love things like this, just saucy and messy and wonderful. Okay, so celery sticks, and then gorgonzola cheese, and then some celery leaves, and a little thing of toothpicks. And then I cannot let this sauce go to waste. I have to pour some more on.
Actually, a beautiful platter.
It is fun. Just serve this to friends, serve it to your kids, serve it to yourself. I've just got frozen tots, and I'm sprinkling on some chili powder and some cumin. Sprinkle that over, and then I'll give these a toss. Frozen tots are pretty darn good as they are, but adding the chili powder and cumin really kind of elevates them. Okay, they are all coated, so I'm gonna bake these in the oven. They're gonna go onto a rimmed sheet pan. Now I'm gonna bake these in a 450-degree oven for about 35 minutes. So I'm gonna move forward with the buffalo chicken mixture. I just added some chicken breasts that I cut into chunks, and I'm adding plenty of salt and pepper. I just had a little butter in the skillet, and I'm gonna start browning this before I move forward with the sauce. This kind of recipe is so much fun because you can serve it to teenagers after school. If they have friends over after a football game, it's perfect for that. Okay, the chicken is starting to brown, so I have some more things to add to the skillet. I've got some finely minced garlic and some sliced celery, which kind of ties into the buffalo chicken theme, and some sliced scallions. Okay. When Alex and Paige left for college, I swore things would never feel normal again. But we've kind of gotten a little rhythm. When the girls come home to visit, it's absolutely wonderful. And then when they go back, we settle right back into the man cave routine. So now for the buffalo angle, I've got Louisiana hot sauce, and I'm gonna pour in a whole bottle. This is a great, quick way to make buffalo chicken. Of course, the classic is buffalo chicken wings. That takes a little more time. You have to fry the wings and then simmer them in the sauce. Okay, I think that chicken is just about done, and I think the tots are ready to come out of the oven. They should be golden and crisp, and yes, they are. While I'm here, I'm gonna turn the broiler on, so that'll be ready. So now I'm gonna assemble the Totchos, but I wanna get the tots into sort of a group in the middle. You basically wanna make a pile. So first I'm gonna put on just a little bit of cheese. I'm using pepper jack, but you can use plain jack, sharp cheddar, a mix of Colby jack, and then this very saucy, spicy, tasty chicken goes on. I'm gonna grab a bigger spoon. Okay, now you wanna get a bunch of chicken on top, but you also wanna get sauce all over the mix. It'll kind of seep down into those crevices. And then the rest of the cheese goes on. And this is going to be such a scrumptious pile of food right here. Okay, now the pan goes under the broiler just for 2 or 3 minutes until the cheese is melted and bubbly. This is not a dish you want to make ahead of time. You make it right before you serve it. Now I'm gonna make a blue cheese ranch dressing to go with the Totchos. You won't believe how easy this is. I've just got some prepared ranch and I'm spiking it with just a little bit of blue cheese. I'll give it a stir and add a little pepper and a little bit of salt. Ranch is basically a way of life with my teenagers. They eat ranch with pizza, chicken nuggets, French fries. I like to spike it with just a little bit of blue cheese to keep it consistent with buffalo chicken. Okay, that's the dressing. Pretty sure that cheese is melted by now. Let me take a look. Oh, yes. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? Oh, what a fun dish. I love it. Now, of course, you can serve little ramekins with the ranch in it, but I kind of like to just go for it and drizzle it on all over. It kind of makes a mess, but that never bothers me. Now, to garnish, I like to sprinkle on some celery leaves. So pretty and keeps driving home that buffalo chicken point. And then a whole bunch of green onions. Well, if you've never seen buffalo chicken Totchos before in your life, that just changed. Here they are. Lad's got all the kids at their respective sports practices and I'm all by myself on the ranch. I thought I'd challenge myself to make some of my favorite recipes in less and less time. Okay, I'm making buffalo chicken salad and I've got to get the chicken cooking. So I'm going to throw just a tablespoon of butter in a small skillet and then I'll add just a little bit of olive oil. And while that's heating up, I've got one boneless, skinless chicken breast. And I'm just gonna cut it in half and this will help it cook a little faster. So I'll just lay my palm flat on top of the chicken and I just slice it in half. It helps to have a really sharp knife. All right, now I'll just grab some salt and pepper, sprinkle it on top. Okay, now I'll just put it into the skillet with the butter and olive oil. Okay, I'm gonna whip up a really quick blue cheese dressing for the buffalo chicken salad. And it starts with half a cup of mayonnaise. Okay, and then I'll add 1/4 cup of sour cream, 1/4 cup of milk. Then I'll mix this together and get it really, really smooth. Now to the dressing, I'll add a couple of dashes of Worcestershire. And then of course, since it's blue cheese dressing, about a 1/4 cup of blue cheese. A little bit more if you're like me. I like tangy, tangy, tangy blue cheese dressing. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit of pepper. Okay, the dressing's all done. So I'll start working on the salad greens. I'm gonna chop up some romaine lettuce. I'll just cut off the tough end and then I'll just make small cuts. Okay, I think that ought to be enough. Now the chicken's just about done, so I'm gonna pour some Louisiana hot sauce right over the chicken. This is also called cayenne pepper sauce. It's the sauce I use to make buffalo wings. Now I'll let that sit for a sec. Now I'll throw the romaine into a bowl, and then I just have a box of mixed greens. I want the salad to have some variation in color and texture, so I'll just throw a few of these in there. And then I'll just mix this up. And now I'll just pour some of the dressing over the top. Any dressing I have left over, I'll just use as a veggie dip. Now the chicken's done, so the last thing I'm gonna do is just slice it up to put over the top of the salad. Got a serving bowl, and I'll just pile all the greens in there. Got that yummy blue cheese dressing. Let me check the clock. Oh boy, I better hurry. I knew this one would be close. Okay, and then I'll just grab the chicken, arrange it over the top. Okay, now the last thing, I'm gonna cut the bottom off of a head of celery, open it up and grab a few celery hearts with the little leaves. This is just a nod to buffalo wings and eating celery with blue cheese dressing. And then I'll just sprinkle on a little bit of extra blue cheese.